Hi, welcome to TeachStar, and today we're looking at who do you reward. Now obviously rewards are a real powerful tool. As human beings, we love the carrot more than the stick. Yes, the stick's necessary, but as teachers we know that the carrot has more power because it's something that says, yes, you've done that right. And as people think back in your history, what has worked for you, the fear of getting attention or the feeling of happiness when you get some acknowledgement that you've done the right thing. Probably fear of detention for some of you, but I would argue that the rewards are more powerful than sanctions. So rewards are important, and as teachers we do not reward enough. Like across the world we are rubbish at rewarding. Why? Because it's human nature to, like as teachers, to pick people up for what they're doing wrong. That is our job. You are not doing that subject correctly, therefore I have to pick you up on it and correct you. And same with behaviour, and same with everything. And we're not very good at the other side of it. For instance, if you're in a class of 30 and one person really annoys you and gets you annoyed, it's very difficult to turn around to someone else and go, oh, well done, here's a reward, or here's a verbal reward or a physical reward or whatever. Anyway, we're not going to talk about the importance of rewards, but we are going to talk about the importance of, or lack of importance of, who you reward. Now, the most powerful rewards, arguably, are given to the worst students. So if you've got a student in your class who barely ever behaves, it is crucial that when they do behave, you give them some kind of reward. I'm not talking about, a sweet or something like that. I'm talking about some acknowledgement that they've had a good lesson. For instance, when someone has a good lesson with me and they don't normally have a good lesson, on the way out, when everyone's walking out, I go, oh, can you just stay here a sec? I just want to talk to you about something. So I don't do it in front of the class because the students, that kind of teenagers, don't really like that. But I just say to them, that was a really good lesson today. Well done. That was exactly what I wanted you to do. So I just wanted to say that before you left. That is a reward. You don't need to give them what they called house points or merits or anything physical. Just having a conversation with them. And if they have a good lesson for me 2 or 3 times in a row, I will always ring home. And that sounds like an amazing system and, teacher of the year material. But today's video is not about rewarding the misbehaving students, because we know that that's effective. Of course it is. Because if you're using carrot and stick, it's always better than you just using one, arguably. But what happens to the students who actually just always behave? Well, as a teacher, and this is going to be sociopathic me, okay? I'm thinking, well, they always behave. Why would they need a reward? They don't need the stick. They don't need a sanction because they always behave and they always do their work. But why would I reward them? They will do it anyway. True. Sociopathic teacher is absolutely correct. You don't need to reward them. End of video. No. Obviously that's not going to be the end of the video, because yes, you don't need to reward them. Yes, they will behave next lesson anyway, but they won't like you for it. They won't look back at you as a teacher and think, yep, that's a really good, fair teacher. And how do you know that in a year's time they won't start going down the wrong path? And also, just being a nice person and realising that someone's done something well is very, very important. And fourth, you have no idea what is going through their head. They might have absolutely zero self-worth in your subject. They might think that they're rubbish at your subject. And what are you doing about it? Nothing. You don't know that they are confident. They look confident. They look happy. They look like they're doing their work. But you have absolutely no idea how confident they are in your subject and how emotionally they are towards you as a teacher and towards your subject. And so you'll never know that for some students, or you will very rarely know it for a lot of the quieter students, because they're quieter students. They just have learned to get on with it. And yes, you could ask them, but they're probably so nice they'll give you, oh yes, I really enjoy your lessons, and it doesn't really mean anything. So it's so important to put a spotlight on students who just always do what you've asked them to do. It's also kind of subtly showing them as role models in front of the students who don't necessarily do what you've asked them to do. And I'm not saying, make them stand up and shake their hand in front of everyone and go, look, this is the role model here. But saying things nicely to them about, congratulations, well done, I'm really happy with that. And actually making it public that you do acknowledge students. I mean, I often say I made 3 phone calls last night congratulating students for their outstanding work. I don't say who I rung, but every single student in that room knows that 3 people got a phone call, and they could probably guess who they are, maybe. But what I do is I do a rotation of every single negative phone call I make home. I always make 2 positive ones. I don't always get that ratio correct because, life sometimes gets in the way, but that's my goal, is that every time I ring someone for a negative thing, I always ring 2 people for a positive thing. And it just, for me, it helps me remember everyone in that class. It's a pain to do, but when you do it by emails and stuff instead of ringing, it's a lot quicker. And some schools, a lot of schools now have something on their CMS or their systems they use in school, like Sims or whatever, Go for Schools or whatever, that sends a message automatically. So you just click on the name send message and just type it in, and just let your son stroke daughter, you would pick which one's applicable, did really well today, fantastic. And I just find it create a much more positive atmosphere to not just be rewarding the negative students the whole time, and kind of acknowledging the people who are always well behaved. Every time they leave school, every single time I ask them, how was your time at the school? They always say comments such as, I did find it a bit unfair that such and such got all these rewards and I didn't, and I've never been a problem. I've never had any issues. And that does come up quite often when I ask them at the end of year 11. So it is interesting to maybe have a think about the way you do it in your lesson. Thank you very much for this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 5 o'clock in the evening. Thank you.